Formula One heads to Monza for the last European race of the year, the Italian Grand Prix. So this is our last stop on the European calendar as well before the flyaway begins. 2 weeks time, we're in Singapore, Japan, back to back as well with it. Then a 2-week break before we go over to the United States and Mexico. A further 2 weeks break, and then Brazil and Abu Dhabi round out the 2022 season. In terms of the Drivers' Championship, 109-point advantage Max Verstappen holds over that of both Charles Leclerc and Sergio Perez, who are level on points. George Russell is in 4th now, just ahead of Carlos Sainz in 5th. Lewis Hamilton is closing up on that battle as well in 6th position. He's well clear now of Lando Norris, who's well clear of Esteban Ocon, who is in a battle with his teammate Fernando Alonso, and Valtteri Bottas at Alfa Romeo rounding out the top 10. The second half of the page sees Kevin Magnussen 2 points clear of Sebastian Vettel, a point clear of Daniel Ricciardo, who's a point clear of Pierre Gasly. Further back in 15th as well, Mick Schumacher's on 12 points, battling Yuki Tsunoda's on 11, 5 points apiece for Zhou Guanyu and Lance Stroll, 4 points for Alexander Albon, still no points for Nicholas Latifi, and Nico Hulkenberg only completing 2 races at the start of the year. In the Constructors' Championship, Red Bull now have a massive lead in the championship, 511 points to Ferrari's 376. Mercedes are only 30 points back. They are closing them down in 3rd position. Alpine are in a battle on their own as well. McLaren 24 points back from them, but they are 50 clear exactly of Alfa Romeo in 6th position, who are in a battle with Haas and AlphaTauri. Joining that battle last time out though, Aston Martin with Stroll getting points. Williams are 10th with 4 points, all coming the way from Alexander Albon. It's time for qualifying at the Monza circuit for the Italian Grand Prix. Let's take a look around Monza, a 3.599 mile circuit, 11 corners. Been on the calendar now ever since the beginning, only missed 1 race, and it's celebrating its 100th year. Starting at the exit of the Parabolica, it's an important step to get a good exit and carry the speed all the way down as you start the lap, down towards turn 1, the Rettifilo from 8th gear at 350 kilometers an hour, brake down all the way to 2nd gear at 90 kilometers an hour. Tight exit as well as you approach the Cur de Grande as well. Rise up again at the exit of turn 3. You're doing 7th gear, 295. Before you come into the Dalla Roggia chicane, you brake from 8th gear, 330 kilometers an hour, down into 3rd gear at 130 kilometers an hour. Rising up to the 2 Lesmos then, the Curva di Lesmo 1, 5th gear, 200 kilometers an hour. The 2nd Lesmo slightly banked on the way in as well, 6th gear, 270. Rising now down the straight with the DRS open as well. You reach maximum once again, all the way 8th gear, 305 kilometers an hour as you approach the braking zone. Once again into the Ascari chicane, down into 5th gear, 240 at the exit. Down the back straightaway now towards the Parabolica. You have no DRS, you're relying completely on ERS as you come down. Once again, 8th gear, 340 miles an hour, down, brake, 6th gear, 270 kilometers. Ride the exit as well of the Parabolica. Don't go over the white line or your lap time will be deleted. And that is a blast around the Temple of Speed. Hello everybody and welcome to qualifying for the 2022 Italian Grand Prix here at Monza. The world is still it's the world still in complete and utter shock over the loss of Queen Elizabeth II. But annoyingly as well, being an international sport, Formula One does go on. But with it being made up of 70% British teams as well and everything based in Britain, we are heavy mourning as well. We've got some news coming into this weekend as well. Nick de Vries will be driving at the Williams this weekend after Alexander Albon has come down with a serious bout as well of appendicitis. We wish him a very speedy recovery as well. And hopefully as well, we should be in for quite an interesting run. Qualifying is about to get underway as well. It's got around about 8 minutes to go until the start of the session. Charles Leclerc stands the best chance of getting a home pole position for Ferrari as a 5-place grid penalty is in place for Max Verstappen, a 10-place grid penalty for Sergio Perez, and his teammate Carlos Sainz, as well as Lewis Hamilton and Yuki Tsunoda, Kevin Magnussen and Esteban Ocon all start at the back of the grid. What this does mean is, though, that the front row could either be Leclerc for certain, but who's going to line up alongside him? Ferrari look quick, so they're going to be on pole. Alpine look quick. Fernando Alonso looking like he could be doing something as well. He was 4th fastest as well in practice 3, which would put him ideally second on the grid. Lando Norris, Danny Ricciardo, even George Russell looks quite strong as well. We're in for a very entertaining weekend. Let's cross over to Sky Sports F1. Simon Lazenby and Naomi Schiff are talking about the action. On the other side, we'll get ready for the race itself for qualifying.
Teammate or even someone else, then that's going to make a big difference. I think it's going to be interesting to watch what Charles does in this session. Last session he was a little over 3/10 slower than Max, but he was confident in the fact that he could find the lap time, except for turn 6 where he needed some setup changes.
Okay, there we go then. As you can see, that is your favourite for pole position with all of those engine penalties. He's still got a job to do. Can he do it in front of the Tifosi? They would love it if he could. Qualifying in Monza is next.
And that is the big question. I'm now going to ask my co-commentator, Josh Plays, as well. Morning, Josh, or afternoon, good evening, and good night. As we just try and see what's happened with our... All our graphics have suddenly come on and we can't get rid of them. Isn't that annoying? There we go. On the side. Hello. Ready for qualifying then? This is going to be a very interesting session. 8 drivers with penalties, and it's shifting once again the landslide of what qualifying is supposed to be, because now barely anything's going to happen. It's a bit of a wasted hour we're about to have.
Yeah, it really is. And oh boy, am I one happy boy.
Oh, really? Why? What have you got?
I have been on Twitter. I have found a Twitter account which posts tons of F1 charts.
Really?
So,
send me this, doc. Send me this.
I have.
Oh,
I
fantastic.
have now got
oh, wow.
all of that.
Oh, my God. That is a lot of black ink, though. You're going to go through that in a wildfire. But wow,
Yeah, I am
need
going
that.
to go through that in a wildfire.
I need some of that up in the commentary box as well, because all my notes are
It is all on websites and stuff as well.
Right. Well, get that link in the YouTube chat, actually. Let's get it in straight away. Anyway, let's turn then cross over for qualifying. Back to Simon.
It's qualifying for the IndyCar finale. That's live tonight from 10 p.m. There are still 5 drivers in with a chance. Will Power leads the way by 20 points. 20 points behind him, Joseph Newgarden and Scott Dixon. So that should be thrilling. That's on Sky Sports F1 right now. We've got qualifying, but tomorrow on air from 1 o'clock. A race start from 2. Here we go then. Up to the commentary box. Martin Brundle and David Croft.
Time for the Italian Grand Prix weekend to begin with qualifying here from the Autodromo Nazimilia di Monza as well. It is the fastest circuit on the F1 calendar. Average speed here, excess of over 200 miles an hour. They call this place the Cathedral of Speed. It's located around the Royal Monza Park as well. It's a 3.59 mile circuit, 5.793 kilometres as well. And all the way down throughout this fantastic track, we have 2 DRS zones. A total of 11 corners, elevation change is quite flat, 12.8 metres as well. And to combat this, Pirelli have brought their middle tyre compound. It's the C2 hard compound in white, the C3 yellow medium, and the red soft C4 tyres as well. Unlikely, but just in case, it's green intermediate and blue wet weather tyres. There's the Monza banking as well. Looking at the back, track temperature 38 degrees, air temperature 27. We've already heard from Josh, let's hear from Martin and Crofty.
We come to Monza, but it's still a very special track, and we celebrate 100 years of being here.
It is a lot of history, and it's a classy old venue, and it's also, as you pointed out, 83% full throttle for the distance, and that means there are only 40 gear shifts per lap. They're flat out in top gear, and actually there are not that many decisions to make around the lap. Your braking point for the first and second chicanes, for example, 2 Lesmo corners are pretty challenging. Then you've got to get through Ascari, but you know they're really just these sort of 6 groups of corners. But of course, if you make the smallest mistake, you throw the lap away, and you can get it all together and get to the Parabolica and just get too greedy on the way in there and blow it as well. So you really are, you know, on just with your fingertips trying to really control the car nicely. But if you
Absolutely, you are right on the edge as well. Qualifying is going to start shortly. Here's the Drivers' Championship as things currently stand as well. 310 points for Max Verstappen. Charles Leclerc, 201, the same as Sergio Perez. George Russell on 188, Carlos Sainz on 175, Lewis Hamilton on 158 as well. They complete the top 6. It's a battle between Norris, Ocon, Alonso, Bottas as well for the next positions. Magnussen 2 points clear of Vettel, who's in a battle with Ricciardo and Gasly. Schumacher, Tsunoda separate as well. 5 apiece as well for Stroll and Zhou. 4 for Albon, and Latifi and Hulkenberg still pointless. The Constructors' Championship. Red Bull 511 points, Ferrari 376, massively different between them two. Mercedes 344, 346 I should say. Alpine 125 in a battle with McLaren. Alfa Romeo, well clear of Haas, who are in a battle as well, mainly with AlphaTauri and Aston Martin, and Williams only on 4 points as well. And we'll begin with Williams, is that Nick de Vries as well is about to go into his very first Formula One qualifying. And I know we shouldn't be nervous, but he is actually a world champion in Formula E, so it's not actually as nerve-wracking as we think it might be, Josh.
Yeah, it's definitely is going to be nerve-wracking as we speak. There is Nick de Vries getting ready in the car, but now I can give you facts like Alfa Romeo have had 10 retirements this year, which is a lot.
10 out of the
Bottas
16 races.
5, so 5. 4
Yeah.
technical, 1 accident for both of them, and Magnussen has had 2 technical and 2 accidents.
We are about to get underway then. Adam says, okay guys, can Ferrari win on home turf this weekend? They stand the best possible chance as well with everything that's going on in terms of the penalties for both Red Bulls as well, so we should be all good. Okay then everybody, get ready for qualifying to get underway. The green light goes on and qualifying for the Italian Grand Prix is underway. 18 minutes, all 20 cars will head out there onto the circuit as well, and this is going to be a very entertaining session. 8 drivers come here with penalties. Max Verstappen has a 5-place grid penalty for a replacement internal combustion engine as well. Sergio Perez has a 10-place grid penalty to factor into as well. Then we've got Carlos Sainz with a back of the grid penalty as well for so many changes to the engine. The same goes for Lewis Hamilton, Yuki Tsunoda, Esteban Ocon and Kevin Magnussen as well. So 8 drivers in total, starting from further down positions as well. Mick Schumacher added to the list as well, so it's coming in. Valtteri Bottas also with a back of the grid start. He's the 8th driver to come through. All this means that Nick de Vries, who deputises as well for Alexander Albon after he has got appendicitis, means that at worst he will qualify 13th on the grid. That is fantastic for de Vries starting tomorrow with a very competitive Williams car.
That really, really is. Stroll and Tsunoda currently the only people out on track as Schumacher joins them, and Magnussen, everyone slowly coming out on track. There's George Russell in the Mercedes garage.
Just Ted's down in the pits.
Luca de Montezemolo, who liked to be on the pit wall and all involved, but has just appeared. Expecting to see what Ferrari can do. As you say, AlphaTauri's joined the Aston Martin out on track, and those looking a little bit like they need to find some pace going into this session. Aston Martin, they are now both running the new Monza Special rear wing, Crofty, as they were trying different rear wings in last practice, free practice 3. Kevin Magnussen, Mick Schumacher, there's not much pace in that Haas car, and Valtteri Bottas, but also with some issues on his Alfa Romeo as well, engine penalties.
Thank you very much, Ted, as the information continues to come through as well. He's down there in the pit lane as well. Now, that's entertaining. Josh has got the thing on, but it's not showing.
Tyres are looking good. Keep leaning on them and then do the scrubbing.
Now, where is the correct graphic we need for that? I can't see it anymore. It was there, now it's all disappeared again. There's Josh. Okay, well, while I'll fix that, let's go battle screen. And get that sorted as the cars go out. Lance Stroll, though, fastest sector 2 of anybody, and he's going purple as things currently stand as well. So times are going quicker, and I think they need to as well. There's a lot of anticipation in the atmosphere as well that we're going to have a possible wet race tomorrow. So this could get very entertaining very, very quickly. So do stay with us. Don't forget, we've got Formula 2 coming up later on today as well. Their next race is cross line from Stroll with a 1:24.231 to go fastest on the board. I've now navigated correctly the boards for the graphics here. As out the pit lane now comes Max Verstappen on a brand new set of
You're
compound
in sync with
tyres.
Tsunoda ahead, Stroll 14 behind. Remember, mode push, mode push.
And he's coming out on a set of the C4 red compound tyres as well from Max Verstappen. He had 8 sets of those. He's used 3 throughout the weekend so far, and he used a further 3 here today, as this is Lance Stroll down at the Dalla Roggia chicane, taking a couple more, just having a bit of a slide and continuing on as well. So it's a good opportunity there for him to get some slides. And did he get the gravel? Oh, he just kept out of that gravel trap. Mighty, mighty performance there, as well as the rest of the field come through. Yuki Tsunoda now, fastest middle sector, 27.496. Second sector is a 27.849. Schumacher and Magnussen also on lap times. They come down the track as well. Nice exit out of the Parabolica for Yuki Tsunoda. Does he go fastest across the board? He should do and does so. 1:22.762 for Tsunoda. Schumacher goes second, 1:24.063. That's Perez as Magnussen goes second, 1:23.167. So times coming in thick and fast as well, and beginning to change over, which is what we needed to hear and what we needed to see as well. We've opened up now as well the telemetry battle screen computer that you'll be hearing from. Look, if you press button 7, there you go, look, we're here. All comes through. But should be quite an exciting one as Nick de Vries heads down the track, and the 2 Ferraris start to make their appearance as well as Monza starts to cheer. And my colleague is down there as well, actually, in there as well. One of my colleagues is right in the thick of all the action, and I am very, very jealous of them right now that they're there. But this is going to be a very entertaining weekend, and just warming up the session, isn't it, Josh? Not much happening just yet.
Yeah, only 5 minutes gone of the session. Everyone out on track except the 2 Alpines, the 2 Alfa Romeos, and Tsunoda. Here is a replay of Mick Schumacher getting all loose on the exit of turn 1, going into turn 2 at the first chicane.
And Sebastian Vettel getting on the gravel at the second chicane, Dalla Roggia as well. But brilliant from Schumacher actually as well when he came through Reto Filio. The car drifted around and he got it perfectly. Verstappen touches the gravel as well at the exit of Dalla Roggia. Into Lesmo 1, gets it okay. Into Lesmo 2, it's slightly banked here at this part of the track through turn 7. A little bit wide. Now they head down the back straight where the second DRS detection zone is as well, towards the Ascari chicane. Go on, Josh.
Was that a spot of rain or was that a speck of dirt on the tamper?
I really hope it was a speck of dirt, because what is the chance of rain in this session as well? I can't see anything at the moment.
0%.
Yeah, 0%, yeah. Someone's gone off with some big puff of smoke there. Can you see? So someone's had a big failure, something.
Yeah.
And there's something flying. Oh, it's
one.
yeah. Well, it's Hamilton and Russell on the back straight away. Here comes Verstappen through Parabolica. Everything looks okay so far as he hurtles towards the line. Max Verstappen has a 5 place grid penalty from wherever he starts, but does a 1:21.023. So nice job there from Verstappen. Hamilton coming by 2, Russell starting up. So Hamilton's giving a toe to Russell, which is wise. Hamilton's starting at the back anyway, but he needs to give a toe to Russell to make sure he gets through to Q3. Latifi goes 4th, 1:22.818. De Vries, who's only had 20 minutes in that car, is done a 1:22.881. De Vries is almost as fast as Latifi. It's almost laughable, isn't it, Josh, that De Vries is that quick against Latifi?
Oh, it really, really is. I don't think Latifi will be in Formula One much longer.
No, I don't.
think he might go to the graveyard or another graveyard.
He'll
Formula E and IndyCar and wreak some havoc there through the Ascari chicane. Comes Carlos Sainz.
Get the traction out.
Perez radio.
Sergio Perez.
Here
So
comes.
Sainz will come across the line first, Leclerc second. Here comes Sainz up the exit of Parabolica to the line.
And it goes a 1:21.348. Good time there from Sainz. And Italy cheer even more. Leclerc goes top, 1:21.280. So it's 0.068. It's happening all year long, isn't it, Josh? Well, those gaps between the top 3 teams are so close as Hamilton goes into 7th, but Russell goes 3rd, 1:21.785. But once again, the gap between the 2 Ferraris is just insane. They're so tightly packed in together.
Yeah, 10 minutes to go in the session, so Russell splits the 2 Ferraris and 2 Red Bulls going 3rd. The Ferraris, Leclerc 1st and Sainz 2nd. And then Russell splitted Verstappen and Perez in 4th and 5th. But it's still early days currently in the drop zone. Alonso, Ocon, Gasly and Bottas. Nick De Vries on the soft tyres, 2 laps coming around Parabolica, likely to start a lap time now. Round the exit, DRS active now.
And
across the line to start a lap time.
He's giving a toe to his teammate as well, Nicholas Latifi, who is directly behind him as we catch up with Lance Stroll coming through the Curve de Grande. Easy way to remember Curve de Grande actually is just remember Ariana Grande, and you'll never forget it. That's what I've been doing as well. As they're coming to Dalla Rosa chicane, which is easy, just remember Dalla Rosa and you're fine. As they come into Lesmo 1 and Lesmo 2, leave yourself for that one as they come through. Banking through Lesmo 2, and Stroll's first sector time was a 27.352, and he's got the DRS open active now with an ultra low rear wing as well as he hurtles down underneath the old banking towards Ascari. De Vries is open up in the second picture as well, and Stroll's a second off the overall time as well, but might just be good enough to put him up into about 7th position, maybe 8th, depending on if he can get quick time of Hamilton. He moves out the way as well does Sergio Perez, as he's right behind now. Gasly gets out of the way mid-corner. De Vries still giving a toe to Latifi, but he's got Tsunoda in the way now. Stroll crosses the line and does a 1:22.997. He lost 1.7 seconds on that last lap. De Vries is 10th at the moment. Can he out-qualify Latifi, who's 9th? Let's just remember that as well. But the bottom 5 have yet to set a time. De Vries does a 1:22.567. Latifi doesn't improve! Latifi had the toe on that lap time.
200 separate the Williams.
And it's De Vries ahead of Latifi. Latifi had the toe.
The was stepping out. The relay stepped out into turn 2.
Now, just want to look, Jost Capito looking like he knows what needs to happen. Latifi had the toe off of De Vries, and De Vries had no one and still went faster than Latifi. How is Latifi in Formula One? I honestly think he's one of the slowest and worst drivers we've ever had.
Yeah, Latifi has qualified 20th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times this season.
His best result was
the
7th.
others 19, and highest qualifying was 10th, which, if I remember rightly,
Is that this season?
was
Alonso goes,
in.
2 seconds. Alonso goes 6th, Ocon goes 8th, Bottas only 15th as the team games begin. At the moment, that pushes to Freeze 11th, Latifi 12th, Gasly goes 13th as well. So everyone's now set a lap time. Perez
Second lap,
goes
we have
3rd.
a little bit of rear locking.
Yeah, I've got here Latifi started 7th. Oh, sorry, that's best finish. Yeah, you're right. Best grid position for Latifi was a 10th place. His best finish was 7th last year.
Silverstone.
Yeah, so best grid was 10th at Silverstone, yeah. Sorry, that's all I've got up here in the box is best grid. And I was reading best finish instead of all the way around. So yeah, best finish for Latifi was 7th. Best grid is 10th as well. So you're bang on there. I need these graphics. It'll save me having to do all the work as well as they come back through.
Have a look at the driver retirements again. Vettel, Hamilton, Norris and Russell have not retired due to a technical issue at all this year.
Wow. That's insane as they come through. Look at Verstappen though, 6th at the moment, jumps to the top. Hang on, how did he jump to the top on the onboard camera? The onboard camera must be delayed because he got that time before he even reached the line.
I think it's a cooling panel session, that's okay.
And now he's at turn 1.
I'm not sure, it's the... Yeah. If you're not sure, box, please box now, box. Just if it rips the side pod off then. Yeah, box. That's definitely worse, yep.
So Verstappen does a 1:20.922 at the moment. So this is how it stands. We'll go battle screen. And this is how it currently stands in the order. Verstappen's on top, Leclerc 2nd, 3rd for Sainz, 4th for Perez, 5th Russell, 6th Tsunoda, 7th Alonso, 8th Norris, 9th Ocon, 10th Hamilton. And this is Lance Stroll going off the track just about at lap number 2. And so 10th Hamilton, 11th Show, 12th is De Vries, 13th Latifi, 14th Gasly, 15th Ricciardo, 16th Magnussen, 17th Bottas, 18th Stroll, 19th Schumacher and 20th Vettel. Josh?
Yeah, that's the reason that we saw that big puff of smoke.
Unfortunately, no tow on this one, Nick, I don't think, but we'll just put all the corners together and then we'll get the tow for the second lap.
Go on.
Yeah, the big puff of smoke onto the exit of Ascari, I believe it was on Perez's lap time. Projected knockout time of 1:22.5, but just having a look at it, it was Valtteri Bottas, a massive lock-up into turn 1.
Yeah, I presume you're on the PLC there as well. Same as me seeing that happen as well. These flags get so annoying sometimes, you just clip them together. Yeah, Bottas big lock up at turn 1 on the pit lane channel as well, as it was Perez who caused the dust and the smoke on that previous lap time that we saw. Okay, so everyone bar Magnussen and Schumacher in the pit lane, and they're going down the start-finish line now, and we catch up with them on TV pictures as Schumacher leading Magnussen to try and tow him into the next session as well, but they've got free air and Schumacher locks up into the Rettifilio, just about makes the corner. Goes back on the power as well. Magnussen's going to follow him as well, but presumably you do one lap, we'll do the other to try and give it as fair or as reasoning as possible. And we don't want to have that situation where it's just changing too much. But Verstappen is quick out there on the board at the moment with a 1:20.922 as Magnussen is a 2/10 up to get in the drop zone on Danny Ricciardo. Top 15 though in the pits, and I've got a feeling, Josh, we're going to be waiting for everybody to go out at the same time because it's 3 minutes to go, 1 minute 20 lap times. They've got to be leaving the pit lane ASAP, and I don't think anybody will. I think we're in for another situation as yesterday.
I think we are, as the two Hasses, Schumacher leading with Magnussen behind, go into the Ascari chicane. They are both in the drop zone currently. Bottas and Stroll on an outlap, and some of the top 15 come out. So De Vries, Latifi, Gasly, and Alonso and Ocon, they are all coming out.
Yeah,
and more, I expect to see all of them coming out now. So it's going to be chaos going up towards Parabolica, but Schumacher comes across the line at 1:23.005 and Magnussen at 1:22.399.
So they're all coming out on the track now. That's going to block Schumacher's run. They're all going to get one more, but now are we going to see the situation where everyone's going to back up and not want to do anything? This could be a very entertaining part of qualifying here as they come through, just getting ready for the signal as well.
Magnussen's lap time has been deleted for track limits at turn 7, Lesmo 2.
So
Hamilton a lot of miles ahead.
2 minutes to go then here in qualifying number 1, and as Josh just said, we have got a mega pack heading out there as well. Alonso down are all out on the track as well. Russell's headed back out there to try and give a tow to Lewis Hamilton, but
okay, push past these guys if you can.
Yeah.
You've got De Vries behind, we want to stay ahead of him. You've got Gasly, Joe Bottas ahead, and then Sebastian.
That's Stroll being told, push by these guys if you can, and he's done so. Stroll is coming back through as well. Vettel starts the lap, he's got Bottas behind him as well as Joe, Gasly too, as they all enter turn number 1. This is going to be a very entertaining last few minutes of qualifying to just hopefully see what's going to happen. Is it going to be a bigger problem? Is it not going to be a bigger problem? Who's going to be where? I'm tremendously excited about what we're about to see in qualifying as they come back through. Vettel's doing well, okay. All looking good to me as they come through. Vettel's 4 tenths up at the moment as well. 1 minute to go in qualifying 2. And so far, Vettel's out on the circuit. Bottas in 17th position as well. Russell 5th. They're all going out there, Josh, on brand new soft compound tyres as well. So they're all burning up a set. And they're all going to try and give each other the tow back down. But no Monza 2019 happening at the moment.
Yeah, Monza 2019 was something.
You were used.
Used.
That's Russell asking if Lewis is on new tyres or used. He says used. Yes, he is. 4 lap old softs, blimey. So that's going to be something. Yeah, very surprised that Hamilton's gone out there. Alonso too, actually, on 4 lap old softs. So they haven't even bothered to go on brand new tyres. They're all out there on the old set. Okay, Vettel then, first driver to cross the line. What lap time is he going to do? He's 20th and last at the moment as well. Does go 14th, a 1:22.636, but knocked out immediately as well, puts in the drop zone. Bottas goes 11th, Joe's behind him, goes 6th. Gasly's as a checker flag 4th. Gasly meets it. He goes P7, a 1:22.017. Latifi's at risk of being kicked out. Stroll next to cross the line, only goes 17th. De Vries, can he improve on the lap time across the line? Goes 12th, 1:22.176. His first qualifying in Formula 1. De Vries might be safely through. Alonso next up, he's P9. Should be okay, is okay. Ricciardo's 18th at the moment. Is he going to be kicked out of qualifying? Is he hurtles down? Hamilton goes 9th. Latifi's now on the risk as well. Hamilton definitely through to the next part of qualifying. De Vries 13th. Here comes Danny Ricciardo, 18th at the moment. Can he get through to the next part of qualifying? McLaren have not towed him and he's done it. He goes 12th on a 1:22.139. De Vries 14th, Magnussen only 18th. Vettel has already done a lap time. It's Latifi and Schumacher we're waiting for as well to come across the line. Latifi has backed off his lap time as well and won't do anything. And I think as well the same can be said for that of Schumacher. Vettel,
yes, De Vries.
Yeah, De Vries has done it. In his first qualifying as Latifi pit, Stroll goes 18th. Vettel's already done it. In his first qualifying in Formula 1, it's Nick De Vries who goes through to the next part of qualifying, and more importantly for Formula 1, he beats Nicholas Latifi. As Schumacher has a big lock-up down at turn 1, but De Vries goes through, Latifi doesn't. Wow.
Okay, that's P17, I'm afraid we're out. Both cars out, I'm afraid.
That's Lance Stroll on the radio. So, out of qualifying, Latifi, Vettel, Stroll, Magnussen and Schumacher. Well, I just don't know what to say about that.
I think I need to take a seat after that.
That was bizarre as Latifi locks up down at turn 1 as well, and that's the reason his lap time got abandoned.
Nothing time.
Car didn't stop. I don't know why.
They may have done something about
like
it.
It was pushing on as he was downshifting. The car didn't sound right there.
So, there you go.
Yeah, there we go indeed. As they come through, cars coming back into the pit lane. Latifi, Vettel, Stroll, Magnussen, Schumacher, all out of the running. And I can't believe to say this. Look at... he did it. He actually did it.
And also,
Go on.
have a look at 6th, 7th and 8th.
Joe Gasly Tsunoda.
Yeah, but...
Oh,
So-
De Vries' lap time has been cancelled.
But he's still through.
Sebastian Vettel.
Vettel
still
going
through.
wild. Yeah, Vettel's out, but yeah, De Vries' lap time has been cancelled, but he's still through. He's still through to the next part of qualifying. So De Vries goes 15th. Wow, can you imagine the embarrassment if he didn't go through?
Yeah, but have a look at Zoe, Gasly and Tsunoda. Zoe, a 1:22.003. Gasly a 1:22.010, 7 thousandths between them. And then Tsunoda a 1:22.020. That is 3 cars within 17 thousandths of a second of each other.
Sometimes Formula One just keeps on giving and it doesn't even want to say why it's a problem. Amazing. Absolutely amazing lap times happening here. Matthew says plus
we are out, Sebastian. No way!
That's Sebastian. Matthew Tyrrell says plus the penalties as well, remember, so people will move up, won't they? Yes. So Magnussen was already starting at the back, so was Schumacher, Vettel as well didn't have any penalties, so they'll move up. De Vries then, what he's done is guarantee he'll start better than 13th on the grid. That's what he's done there.
Yeah.
By putting that time through.
Just having a look here, Red Bull have only won 2 times at Monza.
2011 and 2013.
13.
Yeah.
Both with Sebastian Vettel.
I couldn't remember for a second if that was correct or not. As,
I mean, Lewis Hamilton and Michael Schumacher were tied with wins at Monza with 5 each.
Yes. I wonder
Nelson Piquet behind with 4, and then Vettel, Barrichello, Frost, Peterson, Moss, and Fangio all at 3.
So we're just on the battle screen while we have a little sit down as well. We shall be hearing from Andreas Seidel shortly as well, which is why you're about to see a little image appear on the deck as well, ready for him. There he is, look. That's the one we need to remember. The little team principals one. In fact, I'm going to highlight that actually so I know which one it is as well. And I'm going to add it to a little folder so I don't have to keep pressing buttons. But this could be entertaining, the next section. So if you're anywhere else but in the room, then get back in it because this is going to be extremely, extremely good. You don't want to miss the next session, which is coming up shortly as well. Let's hear from Magnussen. Yeah, even Magnussen isn't happy with that one.
For Kevin Magnussen, not
Crofty,
helping him
over
for
to
the
you.
3rd time this year. Both Haas cars out in Q1 for Sebastian Vettel. It's a 7th Q1 elimination in the last 8 race. But for Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo, they move through to Q2. Their team boss is with us, Andreas Seidel, and well, 9 1/1000ths of a second between your 2 drivers, Andreas. That's what you've been looking for, that sort of consistency with no big gaps between the 2 drivers.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Happy with the start into this qualifying. Incredible tight. 7 or 8 cars within 2 tenths. So the big battle now going into quali 3 will be very interesting as well. What everyone does, what the penalty cars will do. Will they have their teammates? Will they run at all? Because to a certain degree you risk also to bump out your teammate then. So very interesting now what's happening. But the main thing is to focus on ourselves and hopefully have another good session.
Yeah, so you want to make sure one car doesn't knock the other car out. That's a very good point. But what can you do now? What have you got left in the toolbox to find some time here, Andreas?
Well, all that's left is finding the right gap on track and maybe a prompting adjustment. That's pretty much it.
In which case then, we'll let you go and we'll talk to you after Q2 if we can.
Yes, and that's when we're going to next hear from Andreas Seidel as well, as qualifying is a few moments away. It will be a 15-minute session, and we're getting ready to start that ASAP. The green light is on, and qualifying is underway here for Q2 for the 2022 Italian Grand Prix. 15 minutes, 15 drivers going through. Those eliminated, Latifi, Vettel, Stroll, Magnussen and Schumacher will take no further part. The 15 going through, Verstappen, Leclerc, Sainz, Perez, Russell, Zhou, Gasly, Tsunoda, Hamilton, Alonso, Norris, Ricciardo, Ocon, Bottas and De Vries. And Matthew also says as well, great first session in Q1 though from De Vries. Better for McLaren this weekend as well, which is a massive plus, he says. And I think that is actually the truth as well, Josh, isn't it? It's massively impressive
also,
from them all.
I'm just having a look. Because of the time limits, De Vries is 15th and Latifi is 16th, meaning De Vries knocked out Nicholas Latifi.
Honestly, Latifi as well here as well. Finished just outside the points in 11th on both Italian appearances so far. He gained 9 places from where he started in 2020 and 2 from where he started in 2021 as well. I wonder if he can do much of the same here this weekend as the crowd just beginning to get settled back in as well. Silence has sort of fallen over the Monza circuit here as well. A reminder that straight after this race as well, we're going to run about a 50-minute break before 50, not 15, 50, 5-0. Before the start of the FIA Formula 2 sprint race in which Felipe Drugovich could be crowned the Formula 2 champion as well, which is going to be entertaining. The Formula 2 world champion as well, we should say, because they're now world and championships, the pair of them, as they come through. A difficult session as well throughout the weekend being anticipated as well, as Ferrari going to head out their best shot for a home pole position. Haven't had one since Charles Leclerc did it in 2019. That's also when he took victory here as well. It was back-to-back poles and back-to-back wins as well. In fact, he's a driver who many know him as only can win from pole position as well, Charles Leclerc. He's had 16 pole positions. He's had 5 career wins in his racing season. 2 of those came in 2019. The rest all came this season as well, with wins in Bahrain, Australia as well. Then going forward as well, his 3rd win of the year came in Austria as well, also winning the sprint as the cars head out onto the circuit now finally as well, getting ready for the next part of qualifying. They're all going out once again, Josh, together in a train effect, and Russell trying to avoid something in the fast lane there as well as let Hamilton back through.
Yeah, a bit of a queue in the pit lane, but that sometimes happens in the Formula 1 paddock. Paramount Plus being advertised again with SpongeBob SquarePants, with 12 minutes left of the session. The 2 Ferraris heading out of the pit lane now, and both Mercedes and both Red Bull as well, very, very slowly out of the pit lane, but they're trying to create a gap so they don't get held up by people. But luckily there are no other cars coming, as that would have been deemed very dangerous if there were any other cars oncoming.
Absolutely, as the rest of the field come through now as well, down and towards turn 1. Ferrari get a big cheer as well from the locals as we get back into all of the action zones as well. This is going to be very entertaining. Yes, later on tonight as well, IndyCar qualifying. I'll be recording highlights for that, and we'll have a big build-up show tomorrow with all the action. We'll get all the guys from Grid Network as well. Go on, Josh.
That's amazing. Look at that. Lap comparison Monza. I've never seen that graphic.
Oh, wow. F1 car is 1 minute 20. A safety car is 45 seconds slower. A family car is 75 seconds slower for a lap comparison here at Monza. I've never seen
an amazing
that
little graphic.
Wow. I love that. Whoever came up with that idea is a genius. Absolute genius.
I mean, whose family car do they use to get the lap comparison? That's the main question I think we need
Daniel,
to know.
so the first few cars were quite tightly spaced, but where you are, it's a bit more spread out.
Yeah, Danny is actually caught up. This is Joe.
Everybody is so slow, man.
Everyone's so slow, man. Ted, down to you.
Anyways, an AlphaTauri released into the path of the Mercedes, who had to brake to avoid it. The Alpine was about to go out at the same time, so it all got a bit close, but I don't think they tend to take action on these things in qualifying sessions.
Ted as well as they come back through. Verstappen with 10 minutes to go now starts his lap time. First sector time is a 27.182 out there on the board as well. And Perez's second sector time is a 27.322 as well. So watch out for Perez to do something special here. First sector time has been beaten by Carlos Sainz, a 26.722. Ferrari are going all out here as Perez does the first fastest time.
Everybody is so slow, man.
Perez does a 1:21.358 into Ascari. Goes Verstappen. Full on throttle now down the back straight away towards the Parabolica. Look at that, only pulling 0.2 of a G. Watch it now, 0.1% of a G. Maximum 5.1G all of a sudden through braking as well. A maximum 4G through Parabolica. Flat out towards the line. Verstappen goes top with a 1:21.265. Here comes Hamilton, here comes Russell. Bottas third, Gasly third, Bottas fourth, De Vries fifth, Gasly fourth. They're all changing quickly, as you can see. Here comes Hamilton across the line. Ocon goes fourth, Hamilton goes third, 1:21.708. Russell just behind him. Russell's got no grid penalties, only goes fourth. Sainz goes top, a 1:28.78, the fastest time of the weekend so far. Happens here in free practice, so here in qualifying number 2.
Slow button on, Max. Slow button on.
And Max now being told slow button.
That?
Alonso goes 6th. Now look at that. Ricciardo could only go 12th. He's still in the drop zone. Ricciardo can't do anything. As this is Leclerc's lap time. And why he's 14th, he locked up and went straight on at the Rettifilio.
Not ideal. Here is George Russell looking up into the same chicane Rettifilio that Leclerc did moments ago.
And George Russell has scored at Monza only for the first time last year in 2021. He finished in 9th position as well. It was a double points finish as well for Williams as they come back through. And Leclerc 14th this time has to do an extra lap in this qualifying session. Gets it through turn 1 okay. And now into turn 3 at the Curta Grande as well. Pushing back on full power as well. Really trying to bring up the anticipation. He's looking
I still
good.
need some help. End of break turn 1. Give me some advice. And we have to come back on the flap.
And Leclerc's 14th at the moment. First sector time was only at 27.2, so it's not the fastest. Matthew asks as well, who do you think will get the Alpine seat for next season? Would love Hülkenberg to return. I think it'll be Colton Herta, to be fair. And if it's not Herta, it'll be Gasly or Schumacher. One of the two will stay there. Tsunoda might go, though. As Leclerc does... look at that! He's gone from being down in the first sector, Josh, being up in the second, but he's massively unstable through Ascari and somehow makes it through. Purple sector 2.
Yeah, that was very, very, very unstable. Sector 2 time was a 27.158 through Parabolica now. Pushing 5.1G on the braking and 4G through the corner. Second, 121.208. 0.330 slower than teammate Carlos Sainz.
So all but Tsunoda's the Tifosi wave on Charles Leclerc as well. They know he's the best chance for an Italian victory, and in fact, Ferrari should forget about the World Championship. They've got to win Monza. Hands out, they've got to win this race. It's the home one. They didn't win Emilia-Romagna. They've got to win here as well. So Leclerc, only driver on the track, and he's done a second lap time. I don't think he'll go out again. Sorry, were you going to say something?
Yeah, just don't make it a wet, dry race because Ferrari will have an absolute heart attack.
Yeah, they'll probably put 1 intermediate on and 3 dry tyres on somewhere on the circuit as well. As he comes back into the pit lane. Okay, so it's Sainz on top, Leclerc second, it's a Ferrari 1-2. In fact, look at it, it's a Ferrari 1-2, it's a Red Bull 3-4, and it's a Mercedes 5-6. Sainz, Leclerc, Verstappen, Perez, Hamilton and Russell going out there as well. Go on.
Everyone in the pit lane except Charles Leclerc, who I expect, it looks like he will be coming in for the chill period before everyone goes out and carnage resumes, for everyone trying to gain track position. But the pit lane channel's very, let's say, bare, because there's only one driver out on track.
Yeah, this is where
5 minutes to go, it's very quiet. Now we wait a couple of minutes, maybe a minute and a half, for everyone to rejoin the track.
Hamilton just watching on now as well. Andrew's just alongside there as well. Just thinking he's got a new set of soft compound tyres on, so that's the tyres he's going to bolt out on as well. Thought he might have scrubbed a set of mediums, considering he's starting towards the back of the grid anyway. But we'll have to wait for the official grid actually to be announced because of all the penalties that are being got.
Imagine if De Vries gets into Q3.
Do you know, I know it sounds awful, but I think they might give him a grid penalty because it's a perfect chance to get engine energy, but a free engine change without having it affect Albon. But I think everybody wants De Vries to get points because they need him to be better than Latifi. That's what Williams are testing him for. Is he better than
Everyone's
Latifi?
better than Latifi.
I mean, yeah. I mean, well, actually, Vettel, Stroll, Magnussen, Schumacher, arguable at the moment because Latifi was 16th. But Latifi was 20th across all the practice sessions so far this weekend. And he hasn't really done much to show that he's got F1 talent. He's been out-qualified by a teammate who's only had 20 minutes in that car in free practice 3 this morning. Now, that is what's bad.
20th in free practice 1, 19th in free practice 2, and then up in 13th. He was having a heart attack in the car. Latifi was for free practice 3. Where is it?
He felt threatened, didn't he?
Yeah, and here it is. Latifi have had 1 technical and 2 accidents.
Saudi Arabia was one of them, and the second would have been would it be Silverstone? Where was that second? France. When did he crash there? How did he hit the? When did he retire in France? How did that happen with
I
crash?
don't know. It just tells me what Grand Prix he has done, but
Can't remember
retired in
crashing.
Austria with a technical.
What was it?
Yeah.
Ted's in the pits.
Just away to my left-hand side once it's come out. McLaren were talking about wanting both, or expecting both cars into Q3. So Daniel does need to find the best part of at least 7/10 of a second, or maybe even a second, to be sure of getting in with Lando Norris into Q3 at the end. But yeah, as for Nick De Vries, if you're wondering, he's made a little bit of too much of a front wing addition. He says he needs, the car is a little bit too much on the nose. He needs a little bit less front wing on the car.
Thanks, Ted. Away we go then for the next part of qualifying. And I wonder who's going to be quick now and who's not going to be quick now. That's the main question as well. Fasten up your seatbelts, everybody. Here we go again for the next part. And we have 2 minutes to go in qualifying number 2. And now in the drop zone, we see Bottas, De Vries, Zhou, Ricciardo, Tsunoda. And everybody else now heading on the track, bar the top 4 and Tsunoda. So I think Tsunoda has already got that back of the grid penalty. He's not going to bother going out in this next part of qualifying as well. And look at that, the 2 McLarens. Right behind them is the 2 Alpines as well. So they're all just mega on it as well. As Tsunoda does get out of the car. He hasn't even left the pit lane in this session as well. So that's him done for the day. Wise, actually, considering that.
It really is.
Yeah, he's going to start last anyway.
No point going out in qualifying if you have a back of the grid or a significant grid penalty, and that's right for Tsunoda to do, because then it gives other drivers who do not have grid penalties, but Tsunoda normally gets eliminated in Q2 anyways. The projected knockout time for Q2 is a 1:21.9. De Vries will be the first to cross the line to start a lap time, followed by the 2 Alfa Romeos and Mercedes behind.
So, battle on then as well for the last minute of qualifying 2 as they hurtle back down the straight. De Vries opens up his DRS as well, and he's 12th at the moment, but he's not that far away from getting into the top 10. And if he does qualify 12th, with the grid penalties applied for Hamilton and for Ocon, he'll start 8th. So there's every chance here that De Vries can move up the order. And everybody's now willing him on. He's a Formula E world champion.
He's jumping and
he's locked the rear. He's locked the rear coming into Della Roggia, and the lap time's gone. Oh, well, Josh, that's a curse to the commentator for you. That's the first one you've done. Coming into Della Roggia, he locks the rears and goes straight on.
And I am now going to walk out the commentary box and act like nothing happened.
De Vries as well. He's now going to start at best 10th on the grid, so that is fantastic news for him. Good. That's brilliant. Top 10 equals what Latifi did. Here we go then. Bottas is up by a couple of tenths of a second as well. Zhou's down on time. Norris is the driver at risk as well as they come through. That's going to be close. The checker flag's out. First driver to meet it's coming now. It's going to be Valtteri Bottas. Right. Here we go. Bottas across the line. Is he any good as well? Can he find the time? He takes the checkered flag. Valtteri Bottas. Does he get through? No! He's 44 thousandths out. Zhou doesn't either. He's 5/10 down. Gasly's 8th at the moment, so it's down to De Vries. Well, De Vries is, and then it's going to be Ricciardo. So Ricciardo can only spoil De Vries' day. Gasly goes 8th. Ricciardo crosses the line now. And Ricciardo, does he? Does he? He does! He does! 8th for Ricciardo! 1:21. Brilliant from a Danny Rick. He gets through. Alonso goes 9th. Gasly 10th. Ocon 11th. So at best, De Vries starts this race. Let's see, Verstappen 5 places. That's not going to count out for anything. Hamilton gets counted. And Ocon, so 2 places up. De Vries starts 10th on the grid. That's amazing. He equals the record of Nicholas Latifi for best grid. That is amazing from a driver who's had an hour in the Aston Martin and only 20 minutes in the Williams here today. And it all cost him down here at the chicane. Braked, locked the rear, and went on straight on. But he could have made the apex, but that wasn't his fault.
Sorry about that. I looked up the rears into turn 4.
So, out of qualifying number 2, we see Ocon, Bottas, De Vries, Zhou, and Tsunoda. And Hamilton too. Yeah.
On the gravel on the exit of turn 5.
And this was the unsafe release.
The unsafe release.
Gasly into Tsunoda.
AlphaTauri released it to me.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we saw that.
Gasly into Norris.
Whoa.
Oh, that's a bit too close for comfort for my liking. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
but
really,
go on, Josh.
Yes, that really was.
And
but
that was
Q2
Bottas,
is finished. Q3 up next. Stay with us.
And it's Sainz, Leclerc, Verstappen, Perez, Hamilton, Russell, Norris, Ricciardo, Alonso, Gasly going through. Hang on a minute, I forgot. Hang on. Sainz back of the grid start as well. Hamilton back of the grid. Ocon back of the grid. That's 3 more places. De Vries 9th. De Vries starts 9th. De Vries starts 9th and bests Latifi's grid slot. Only in Formula 1. Norris radio again.
Oh dear. I think Latifi
Go on.
will be out at the end of the season.
If he's not,
But-
I'll be disappointed. Because
I'll be really surprised if he's not kicked out at the end of the year and replaced with Nick De Vries. Nick De Vries really deserves a place in Formula 1, and he has shown that, not this weekend, but in Formula E as well. But just have a look at the times. A Ferrari 1-2, a Red Bull 3-4, a Mercedes 5-6,
yeah,
a McLaren 7-8, and then Alonso and Gasly on their own.
Spoiling the party.
But, yeah, just joining the party. Like, can we join? I know we're not as a 2, but can we just please join?
But Gasly is driving for Alpine next year, so technically can we count that one now?
Yeah, Andreas Seidel they were wanting 2 McLarens in Q3, and they've got it.
Absolutely. As Esteban Ocon now just comes into the weighbridge as well. He's standing at the back of the grid anyway, due to that engine penalty as they come through. McLaren definitely brought more upgrades for this race, says Matthew.
Yeah.
Oh, completely, 100%.
They really did. And just remember what's happened in 2021 with Daniel Ricciardo here, won and got the fastest lap. And then just remember what happened in 2020. Pierre Gasly won the race.
And remember 2019, Charles Leclerc. 3 different We've had 4 different winners in the last 4 years here. 2018, Hamilton. 2019, Leclerc. 2020, Gasly. And 2021 was Ricciardo. So there's a lot of pace here. And of course, back in 2020 when Gasly won, it was an Italian double header because next week we were at Mugello for the Tuscan Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Right, Sky F1 are back, and we're going to head over to Crofty because he's going to talk to Andreas Seidel. Crofty.
Emotional times here for the Tifosi and for Sebastian Vettel, who I can see at the back of the Aston Martin garage with his engineers at the moment, reflecting on his final qualifying session for an Italian Grand Prix. Karun Chandhok is down in the paddock at the Sky Pad for us. Karun.
Thank you, Crofty. Sebastian Vettel actually just came by here. I said, oh, how was it? He said, I've had better days. But anyway, let's go on to someone who is having a better day. Carlos Sainz, fastest of anybody in Q2. And Crofty, you were asking the question about how much the slipstream helped him there, because he was 3/10 ahead off the pack. And this is on board with him on his fast lap. And he's got, you can see there's a couple of cars ahead of him. And as we come through the chicane, he's picked up a bit of a toe down the South Finish Straight. Now, this distance that we're seeing around the Curva Grande is still close enough to feel some sort of a benefit of the slipstream. I don't think it was necessarily the full 3/10 that we've seen the gap, but unquestionably he has picked up a little bit of lap time from this little slipstream. So next time round, though, I expect Carlos to be the one giving Leclerc the slipstream, because of course we know he's starting at the back of the grid.
Absolutely, and if Leclerc does get pole, it will be his 8th of the year, the most by any Ferrari driver since Michael Schumacher in 2004. Meanwhile, down at McLaren, Daniel Ricciardo and Lando Norris are into Q3. Andreas Seidel, congratulations. First objective for this weekend achieved.
Yeah, definitely. Good job by the team, finding the right gaps on track, and great job from Lando and Daniel, making another step compared to quali 1. Progressing now to quali 3, so very happy.
Yeah, I mean, you're in a very good position here, aren't you? With penalties for other drivers, you're guaranteed a really nice grid slot there, I would say.
Yeah, definitely, and also when we see the gap that we have to Mercedes cars, actually quite close. So target is clear now. We want to beat Fernando and Pierre at least, and maybe there's also a chance to beat George, who is without penalty for tomorrow. I think if we get everything together, perfect laps, maybe there's a chance.
Andreas, thanks ever so much, and go well. Seb, you will always be a legend.
Yeah, Seb, you will always be a legend in there. Go Max, you are one. Our champion as well, Monza 1922 being selected out there as well. So then everybody, hold on to your tailcoats. We are getting ready for the start of Q3 coming up shortly, and we'll get ready. 3, 2, 1. And the green light goes on, and qualifying 3 is underway here for the 2022 Italian Grand Prix. 12 minutes, 10 cars going out there, but a number of them have back of the grid starts. Carlos Sainz, your top Q2, is at the back of the grid. Max Verstappen has a 5-place grid penalty. Lewis Hamilton has the back of the grid as well. So, pole position would naturally assume it would... Oh, and Perez got a grid penalty as well of 10 places as well. So, that means that De Vries actually jumps up the order to start 8th on the grid. So, make of that what you will. But Sainz has got a back of the grid start. Verstappen's got a 5-place grid penalty. Perez has got a 10-place grid penalty. Hamilton has a back of the grid start as well. So 4 of the 10 drivers in this session, Josh, with penalties. The grid is going to change dramatically, but that means it will be Leclerc on pole with Russell P2. That's if that order from Q2 stands.
Yeah, like last week in Zandvoort, penalty, stupid. And there is the chairman of Ferrari there in the back of the Ferrari garage, as it is their home race. But cars are heading out, I believe. Yes, they are. Fernando Alonso still in the garage, but as we await for more track action, there is Lando Norris.
He's sort of waiting, aren't we now? It's really weird.
Yeah, it's just and there we go. All of the fans get taken off Lando Norris's car.
They've all waited 2 minutes to see if anyone will go out on the track first, and now they're going to have to run into their own run plan. So everyone's going to leave the track now, otherwise it's just not going to work.
No, it isn't. 10 minutes remaining. Lando Norris gets lowered, tyre wraps off, and out of the garage for Lando Norris, which will likely, and it looks like it is, perform a chain and train of all of the other drivers. Sergio Perez coming out of the garage now with Antonio Perez Garibay in the back of the garage and a yellow Ferrari
I was wondering what that was.
in the right. I thought it was a yellow flag there,
that.
but it's
Caught my
higher
eye.
up in the garage. Here comes everyone out of the pit lane.
And they're in a
to
specific
start
order.
Q3.
2 McLarens gone out together. 2 Ferraris have gone out together. 2 Red Bulls have gone out together. Mercedes have backed up a little bit as well. And yeah, Alonso and Gasly have gone out together, so they're going to teammate with each other as well. Norris has now actually dropped Ricciardo coming through. This is the qualifying form for Max Verstappen. Pole in Austria, 2nd in France, 10th in Hungary, but then poles in both Belgium and the Netherlands as well, as Sainz goes ahead of Leclerc, and the Red Bull of Perez as well is just trying to break up the 2 Ferraris as well, because Leclerc, don't forget, no, he's done it. Look, Perez goes to the inside and gets ahead of Sainz. Now remember, Sainz and Perez have grid penalties the same as Verstappen, so Red Bull want to stop any opportunity for Leclerc getting pole position, although Perez has now got in front of the 2 Ferraris, so Perez is now going to give a tow to Leclerc, and Max is going to get a tow off Sainz, it seems, who's Sainz going to tow around Leclerc. Well, Ferrari's strategy department is a bit bonkers there, because Sainz starts at the back of the grid. Surely you would let Sainz tow Leclerc, not that way round, because that doesn't work.
Positive on these tyres.
Not bonkers.
Well, this is ludicrous. Ferrari, get yourselves in order. Down the back straightaway, Sainz should be ahead of Leclerc. Sainz should tow Leclerc. And Perez should tow Verstappen. Perez has a 10-place grid penalty. Verstappen only has a 5. So, this is weird. Norris will tow Alonso. He'll tow Ricciardo as well. He'll tow Gasly, and this is all just insane. They're all in a mess. Well, they're all going. Yeah. Here we go.
Will Verstappen as Leclerc starts the lap time 214 miles per hour through the speed trap, 213 miles per hour, 343 kilometers an hour, and Verstappen could beat the streak of 4 poles earlier this season from Leclerc if he gets a pole here and in Singapore in a couple of weeks' time.
And look at that, Leclerc's first sector time was purple, but it was immediately beaten by Carlos Sainz as well. So this idea of Ferraris is not working. Verstappen was slow of all, so Sainz might get pole position here, and I know Leclerc might go second and it might not matter, but this is a ludicrous thing to do. Because the pole position doesn't mean that you start ahead of everybody else who got a penalty. The penalties are decided upon when you receive them. So the first one to get a penalty will start the most higher up. So Tsunoda was announced, then it was Hamilton. So Hamilton starts behind Tsunoda, that sort of thing. So Tsunoda gets moved up the grid. Ironically, higher than where he qualified in 15th place, which is the way it works. But it's going to be a bit odd. Anyway, time's clear on the board. Norris goes faster. Then it's Perez. Norris, Ricciardo, Gasly, Perez. Cross the line comes Leclerc. He goes provisional pole position. Carlos Sainz goes provisional pole. 120.584. Now watch Verstappen, who's fastest of all in the 2 sectors. Verstappen can only go 3rd. That's what having no tow does. Here comes Hamilton. Hamilton only 6th. Russell's getting the tow. Mercedes have done it right. And it's Russell 5th. So it's Leclerc pole, Russell 2nd, Norris 3rd, Ricciardo 4th, Gasly 5th, and Alonso 6th, as things stand. Because of the times, you've got to remember with the penalties.
Yeah, it looks like Alonso started a lap time but aborted it and went into the pit lane. Likely now going to be waiting until the final runs commence. Christian Horner on the Red Bull pit wall. And very surprising that we're actually not hearing him from this weekend, as it's Sky's person of choice normally.
I've heard from him for a while, haven't we, actually?
Going through Lesmo 2.
Well, Sky Italia have got Mattia Binotto on their pit wall this weekend, being their home race, so we haven't got him, unfortunately. But I believe in Singapore we will be hearing from him as well.
Correct, Alonso boxed.
That was, I think, Ricciardo saying, did Alonso box? And yes, he did. Max Verstappen only 3rd then, with a 10-place grid penalty, means he starts 17th on the board with 17 pole positions in his career. 10-place grid penalties, 3rd, starts 13th. Russell will take 2nd. Here's Russell Radio.
Tyres again are just nowhere, sliding everywhere.
If Russell's sliding, I reckon he's got more pace. Russell might be the surprise of the session here and just grab pole position without anybody even thinking he could. So that's going to be entertaining. Very, very, very entertaining as it comes through. Sainz then has put on the jacks and taken back into the pit lane. 4 minutes 23 to go. It's going to be a very quick turnaround for these guys. I'll go out there with 2 minutes to go, and then they'll get through. So a 2-minute turnaround as well.
Tires again, I just nowhere, sliding everywhere.
Yeah, fuel having to go in and everything. So this is going to get very entertaining. Matthew, Little Owl says, Matthew, correct. Yeah, Verstappen's a 5-place grid penalty, doesn't he? Oh yeah, sorry, 5. It's Perez who's got the 10. It's my brain not working quickly. So many penalties to try and keep up with, and it's hard to remember who's where when you're live, because you're getting so many things in your ears. So, Ted.
Felt no grip, not enough grip in the front tyres, and wasn't going to improve. So came in at the end of that lap rather than actually completing it. And just a thought that they might actually run in the gap now, just to avoid traffic or potentially any yellow flags, Crofty, that other people cause ruining laps at the last attempt.
Cheers, Ted. 3 minutes 20 to go. Here's how the grid looks so far as well. No penalties in the F3 race, by the way, says the Little Owl. Hopefully remains the same for F2. Right, Alonso's going out there as well. So is Sergio Perez. They're going out together, it looks like, as well, out the pit lane. That's a wise decision to take if they can improve up the field. Cars begin to trim out the pit lane now. And here comes Max Verstappen. And away he goes as well. Anybody else going to dart in front of him? No, it doesn't seem so. This is going to be a fun, fun, fun session. Hold on to your hats, everyone. Coming now, 2:40 to go. Go on, Josh. Hold on to your hats.
Fun.
Ah, Miranda. And actually, Miranda's mother, Patricia, was born in Grimsby. Little thing there. As I've just been Synthil sent me something now from F2 as well in an Instagram message as well. Presumably that's for later on as well. So
Okay, DR, we have plenty of time this time, plenty of time.
2 minutes to go then in qualifying number 3. Sainz, Leclerc, Verstappen, Perez, Russell, Norris, Hamilton, Ricciardo, Gasly, Alonso is the top 10 as it stands. But with that, it would put Leclerc on pole with Russell second, Norris third, 4th for Ricciardo, 5th for Gasly, and 6th for Alonso, due to the penalties for new engine changes out there on the circuit. So it's not over yet, not by a long shot, and we are in for a very entertaining session. Can Charles Leclerc take pole position, number 17 of his career, to match Max Verstappen? Previous polls here at Monza: 2021 Verstappen, 2020 Hamilton, 2019 Leclerc, 2018 Raikkonen, 2017 was Hamilton. Well, it's Hamilton and Leclerc who are the few
so 4 cars ahead between yourself
start there for pole position, take the win as we come through the last corner. Go on, Josh.
For Max Verstappen in the books, the first duplicated pole position since Lewis Hamilton in 2017, so quite a while since the last duplicated pole position. But of course, the 5-place grid penalty will drop him down 5 places. Leclerc goes through the chicane.
Now comes round
turn 1 and 2, and now the Curva Grande, Josh.
Yeah, it looks okay to me so far. This is the braking zone. That's getting everyone a bit tricky. He's not being towed. He's 12 thousandths off the pace of Sainz, and Sainz is actually ahead of Norris. So Ferrari's strategy has been absolutely abysmal once again. At a circuit which relies on the tow, they haven't given it to Leclerc. Now whether Sainz will back off on the lap and tow Leclerc down towards Parabolica, I'm not sure, but it's all going wrong. Now Verstappen's first sector time isn't any better. Leclerc's second sector time with the DRS Open is good in the middle sectors as well as in the mini sectors, and he's 3/10 up on Sainz as well. And listen to the cheer from the Tifosi. They saw that it could be Leclerc's pole position. The checkered flag is out. Qualifying is over. Verstappen is also up in the middle sector. He's got a 10th quicker. Who's going to take pole at Monza? Who will line up on pole position tomorrow? Sainz crosses the line, and Sainz takes it. 1:24.29. Norris goes 6th. Cross the line. Leclerc goes pole. 1:21.61. But is it overall pole? What's happened to Max Verstappen? To the line. Is it overall pole for Max Verstappen or Charles Leclerc? Leclerc's on pole at Monza. And listen to the cheer from the Tifosi. It's an outright pole position for Ferrari in the heart of Italy, in the heart of Monza. It's a 1:21.61. Verstappen second, Sainz is third, Perez fourth, Hamilton fifth. But the front row tomorrow will see Leclerc on pole, George Russell starts second, Lando Norris is third, Danny Ricciardo is fourth, Gasly fifth, Alonso sixth. Then the penalties get applied. Verstappen drops down 5 places. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Verstappen will start 8th on the grid. But it's Charles Leclerc who takes outright pole at Monza.
So P1.
Come on! Yes! Ah, che bello. Adesso ragazzi, domani. Dai. Grandi, grazie.
It's Forza Ferrari. It's Forza Formula One. Josh.
Someone's very pumped.
That's amazing.
And, Megan, I would cover your ears right now. Alonso's only lap time, a 1:21.829, has been deleted for track limits at turn 7, and Gasly's 1:21.910 has been deleted for track limits at turn 6.
So Gasly and Alonso had an opportunity to get up there and didn't.
So for him, brilliant.
Absolutely. And both McLarens on the second row of the grid, I think, Crofty, which is...
That was a very decent last lap, and that's okay for tomorrow. Well done.
Yeah, so that's as best Verstappen could do, but that does put both McLarens row 2. So Leclerc, Russell, and Norris, 1, 2, 3. The 3 Twitch streamers are first, second, and third on the grid. A new era of Formula One is breaking into existence right here at Monza. Charles Leclerc, all in yellow. I think he's pretty mellow about it. Fabulous race win. Coming his way if he can do it tomorrow. Pole position today. That's 50% of the job done. 100% planned tomorrow. Not bad for a banana.
Yeah, and he's been peeled. And I have to make that joke every single time. That banana costume was absolutely golden. But could we see a repeat of 2021 with a McLaren 1-2 with them both on the second row of the grid? And just having a look at it, McLaren have had 2 seconds in a row here. Second in 2020 with Carlos Sainz, who is now at Ferrari. And in second in 2021 was, of course, Lando Norris.
Can Lando take the race win tomorrow? He starts third on the grid as well. Russell's car, can it make the distance? Can Mercedes get their first win of the season? Or will Charles Leclerc win here? I don't know. Mohammed Ben Sulayem as well, the FIA president, watching on as well. Shall we hear from our pole sitter? The Tifosi can go wild. He stands his best shot for a home win at Ferrari. Charles Leclerc takes pole position number 17 of his Formula One career. And he's down there talking with Davide Valsecchi.
Onto the grid as we wait to hear from the top 3.
And of course, it is the top 3 from qualifying that get interviewed, isn't it? Not the top 3 from the grid itself.
Davide Valsecchi has the microphone in his hand.
What a position, man. Talk it through your lap because it was amazing to watch and everyone here enjoyed it.
Yeah. I'll start in English, I'll finish in Italian as always. But Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, it wasn't an easy qualifying session. I knew that there was quite a bit of potential in the car, but didn't put everything together. I knew that in this last lap in Q3, I had to put everything together, and I managed to do it. So very happy with the lap, very happy with the performance. It's been a great weekend until now. The feeling with the car is amazing, and I really hope that we can do just like in 2019 tomorrow.
You know, surprise everyone in your middle sector. Lesmo 1 and Lesmo 2 was incredible quick. Why? Did you feel something special in there? Because it was much faster than the lap before.
I just took much more risks. It was the last lap. I knew I had to find quite a lot of performance there, and I just went for it, and it worked out.
Mi sa che tutti qua ti ringraziano perché oggi sei stato spettacolare e ci hai fatto divertire molto. Bravo Charles.
Grazie mille del sostegno. Qua a Monza è sempre incredibile, grazie a voi. E domani proverò a dare tutto come sempre per provare a portare la vittoria a casa, ve lo meritate. E sì, speriamo, però c'è ancora tanta strada e spingiamo fino alla fine. Grazie per tutto.
Max, second position just at the end. You were suffering a bit on the maximum speed, first and third sector. How was your lap in general?
Yeah, it was close, but yeah, of course we chose to go for a little bit more downforce around here, and I think over one lap it's maybe not the best, but I think for tomorrow it can be quite strong, and also knowing that we have to start a bit back, you know. But I think all in all it was still a good lap. I enjoyed it the whole weekend so far, and I think it will be an interesting battle tomorrow.
Yeah, 5 position of penalty will be not so easy. The approach of the first corner usually there is tricky. How is going to be for your mindset there?
Yeah, just trying to stay out of trouble, of course, in the beginning, and then just work my way forward.
Well done, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Oh.
Carlos, you were on pole on the first set of tires. That's amazing. How was your lap? How was your session? Fantastic the first one, maybe not perfect the second stint.
Yeah, no, it was honestly a very good quali session. I was feeling very well, and I was pushing flat out through Q1, Q2, and Q3. The only issue is that in Q3 I didn't have a toe, and yeah, this probably cost me those 2-3 tenths, to battle for pole position. But I'm starting last anyway tomorrow, so it's not like it changes my life. But yeah, very good lap. I had to take a lot of risks to compensate for the lack of toe. I was quicker in every corner, but slower in every straight. So in the end, I couldn't improve much.
And tell me please about tomorrow. Will be not an easy one, but maybe you can have also an extra support, an extra feeling from there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It hurts to be starting at the back tomorrow, especially with how competitive the car is this weekend, how good I'm feeling on the car, especially after this quali, and to know that I'll be starting at the back. I mean, I will do my best, and I try to put on a good show and making it back through the field because the pace is there. But I wish I could be there at the front with Charles in order to try and do a 1-2 tomorrow for the Tifosi.
Thank you so much. Very well done.
Grazie a tutti.
So, Verstappen, 5-place grid penalty. Ocon, 5 places. Perez, 10. Bottas, 15. Magnussen, 15. Schumacher, 15. Sainz, Hamilton, Tsunoda, back of the grid. Anybody got any question with that? Any comment? Because I don't know what on earth's going to happen tomorrow, and I don't think we'll ever find out either, as our computer screen goes a little bit wrong there.
One word. Just one word. Pardon?
I know how you feel. What a session. Right, want to quick off as well because we've only got about a minute left as well. Josh, who's going to win tomorrow?
Charles Leclerc, but they're going to somehow mess up at Monza and they're going to throw Mattia Binotto off the nearest cliff.
I've been saying that for weeks. Thanks, Josh. See you tomorrow for the race as well. Charles Leclerc is on pole position for tomorrow as well. Alongside him on the front row will be George Russell. The McLarens have row 2. I smell an equaliser coming on. See you later. Bye for now.